Social trends have most individuals as their slaves. They attentively follow the flow in both the virtual and real worlds. However, it is to be expected that the rebellious, eccentric, and astute Sigma INFJ would go against the grain, set the rules, and exhibit a fair amount of stubbornness. These 10 normative aspects of society are disregarded by Sigma INFJs. 10. Conformity and groupthink. Sigma INFJs are aware that conformity might impede one's ability to express oneself and grow personally. They are proud of their capacity to question conventional wisdom, present fresh viewpoints, and think creatively. Instead of giving in to peer pressure to fit in, they try to provide their own perspectives. 9. Hectic and busy lives. Sigma INFJs make room for self-care, reflection, meaningful activities, and genuine connections by putting aside their hectic schedules. They understand the value of striking a balance and giving their own personal development and well-being precedence above the pressure from society to be active all the time. Sigma INFJs understand the value of relaxation, self-care, and personal development. They are aware that having a full schedule and participating in a lot of activities might cause burnout and unhappiness. Introspection and contemplation are important to Sigma INFJs, who also need space and time to digest their feelings, ideas, and experiences. Leading a hectic life may make it more difficult for them to develop a sense of self and intuition. In order to think on themselves and develop their own thoughts, they would rather establish a more leisurely pace. In their endeavors, Sigma INFJs also prioritize quality above quantity. They would rather devote their time and efforts to pursuits that are in line with their values, passions, and aspirations for personal development. They oppose social pressure to meet external success criteria or to be working all the time. Instead of just packing their schedule with activities for the sake of being busy, they concentrate on pursuits that are significant to them and make them feel fulfilled. 8. Looking for outside confirmation. Authenticity and keeping loyal to oneself are important to Sigma INFJs. Living according to their beliefs, interests, and purpose takes precedence above obtaining affirmation or validation from other people. They are aware that the quest for approval from others will never cease and might result in a loss of contentment and feeling of self. Additionally, Sigma INFJs are aware of the limits of outside validation. They are aware that other people's assessments and views are arbitrary and might not accurately reflect their special traits and accomplishments. Rather than depending on other people to validate them, they place a higher priority on their own development, acceptance, and self-validation. 7. Conventional structures of relationships. Sigma INFJs value emotional closeness, personal development, and understanding between partners. Hence, they may find that traditional relationship frameworks impede the depth and authenticity they desire. They like partnerships that promote personal development and independence. Sigma INFJs are also proud of their individual paths and growth. They might buck social pressure to live up to conventional marriage, romance, and family norms. They place a high value on their own development and self-discovery, looking for connections that encourage and facilitate this process. Thus, Sigma INFJs value their independence in pursuing their interests, emotions, and aspirations. They could object to relationship arrangements that put codependency or identity compromise first. 6. Mentalities based on fear. Sigma INFJs may develop a mentality that is centered on bravery, resilience, and seizing new possibilities by rejecting fear-based thinking. Living really and in accordance with their ideals is important to Sigma INFJs. They understand that fear-based thinking frequently results in compromise and compliance, which keeps them from completely expressing their own viewpoints and goals. They may make choices and behave in ways that are true to who they really are by rejecting fear-based thinking. While they acknowledge that fear is a normal emotion, most INFJs think that it shouldn't control their decisions. They go outside their comfort zones and try to conquer their concerns because they know that personal development and satisfaction frequently occur outside of familiar territory. 5. Social expectations and extroversion. Sigma INFJs may find it overwhelming and inconsistent with their natural tendencies to be gregarious and socially dominant, since they want sufficient time alone to recuperate and contemplate. They place a high value on deep ties and meaningful partnerships. When it comes to social connections, they prioritize quality above quantity. They prefer deeper ties than shallow small chat, and they find comfort in private interactions. As a result, individuals can choose to focus their efforts on developing meaningful relationships rather than complying with society's expectation that they be socially active all the time. Additionally, Sigma INFJs have a deep inner life and a proclivity for reflection. They cherish their time alone as well as their ideas and opinions. Self-reflection and introspective exercises that enable them to explore their creativity, insights, and personal development are fulfilling to them. They can access their special talents and contributions when they embrace their introversion. As a Sigma INFJ, how can you stress in social situations that you require time alone, reflection, and deep connections? 4. Conventional career routes. Sigma INFJs see professions that enable them to have a significant effect, and that are in line with their inner purpose. They respect uniqueness and artistic expression. They frequently have distinctive skills, passions, and viewpoints that do not readily fit into traditional professional frameworks. Instead of following standard job pathways that would limit their ability to express their true self and fully utilize their creativity, they can choose to defy society norms. Another strong passion shared by Sigma INFJs is to change the world. Their sensitivity and desire to assist others are what motivate them. Even if they go against popular belief, individuals could pick a job path that puts social effect, personal development, and contributing positively to society first. 3. Insincere small chat. For Sigma INFJs, superficial small chat is less interesting and satisfying because it lacks the depth and genuineness they value in their relationships. The tendency toward introspection and introspective cognition is inherent in Sigma INFJs. They take pleasure in delving deeper into conversations and the complexity of human nature. Their need for deep insights and their intellectual curiosity are frequently unsatisfied by shallow, short conversation. Genuineness and openness are important to Sigma INFJs in social relationships. They enjoy true self-expression and emotional connection in their talks. Insincere or superficial small chat might lack the honesty and emotional depth that Sigma INFJs value. Do you reject shallow small chat because you prefer in-depth, meaningful talks as a Sigma INFJ? 2. Everyone's materialistic goals. Sigma INFJs are aware that monetary belongings don't always translate into contentment or satisfaction that lasts. Rather of focusing on acquiring worldly prosperity, they prioritize inner development, meaningful experiences, and personal improvement. They also cherish sincerity and real relationships. They understand that pursuing worldly goals may frequently be pointless and might divert attention from forming deep connections. They place a higher emphasis on shared ideals, empathy, and emotional relationships than they do on accumulating material goods. Sigma INFJs cherish experiences, personal development, and inner well-being and have a strong respect for life's intangible elements. Instead than relying just on financial possessions to bring them happiness, they find fulfillment in following their hobbies, nourishing their passions, and building emotional bonds with people. 1. An infatuation with social media. The mental and emotional health of Sigma INFJs comes before continuous exposure to well-chosen internet information. They value the depth and genuineness that come from in-person conversations. They understand that relationships on social media frequently lack the subtleties and sincere connection present in talks that take place in person. They place a high value on developing deep connections and would rather spend their time and effort cultivating real ties offline. Sigma INFJs are also aware of the possible harm social media may do to one's sense of self. They are aware of the propensity for social comparison, the pressure to uphold a certain image, and the effects of being incessantly exposed to unattainable norms. They make the decision to use social media less in order to shield themselves from these damaging effects. Do you, as a Sigma INFJ, likewise feel that your need for authenticity is at odds with your continual need for comparison, validation, and the surface-level nature of online interactions? The inclination of Sigma INFJs to disregard or scrutinize social conventions is indicative of their robust self-concept and aspiration for individual development. Sigma INFJs encourage people to challenge conventions and embrace personal authenticity by defying social expectations and embracing their distinct viewpoints. How does it make you feel as a Sigma INFJ to encourage people to be logically and inspiringly stubborn?